likes fashion design and poetry and eating seaweed, but you know, okay. All right. I ate my toenails when I was little, but yeah, I grew out of it, so. Cool.
That's great, okay. So I'm doing poetry, which is a thing, I guess. So this, I'll be doing two, and the first one is called Spaces Between Your Words, so. I want to carve the spaces between your words into the spaces between my pores. I want the look in your eyes burned into the curve of my skin so that the beauty you see will stick to me and create something more between the lines of my fragile skin. I think you know that I want you, but more than I want you, I want the bits of almost theirs and almost yous. I want the scars, the mistakes, the wrong turn burn marks on the back of your thighs, because when I love you at your worst, I know that I can show that the breath on the back of your neck at 2 o'clock in the morning is honest. And then I mean it even more than the huffing and puffing that I did to chase you down. I want your worsts more than I want your bests, because your bests are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not as beautiful as the way you cracked your keel. When you break your back to fix your arm and I can sit and hold you while you heal. I want you to need me. I want to be indispensable. I want to be your constant tattered old book that never leaves your side and you drop your thoughts and without a second thought. I want to be the most comfortable sweater in your closet so when it's raining and you can't go anywhere, you slip me on and take me to bed with you. I want to be a teenage love letter, the type that's silly and stupid, but you just can't let go, that despite all its faults and spelling mistakes, even the awkward heart above the eye, you still keep tucked in the bottom of the chest on the dresser because it's comforting, and you smile and cover your mouth realizing that even when you had bad hair and acne, I still loved you. And I still love you, because ink and paper are forever, including my mistakes, shortcomings, and immaturities. They're there, but they don't have to matter. I want to be your forever boy. I want to be the thing that you keep when you think about letting everything else go, the lifeline that you hold on to. I'll let you use me, break me, step on me to cross a puddle, not because I'm a pushover, but because it actually makes me happy. I want you to be happy. I want you to be straight up singing at the sky, feeling infinite in the front seat of your car on a Saturday night, folding paper airplanes at the park, happy. I want you to find the gold mine inside of your mind, the one filled with clever thoughts and math functions that I don't understand, the books you read in high school. The sense of the unpredictable. I want you to breathe, not just inhale and exhale, but gulp in air. And because you can gulp in air because you just can't stop living, and living takes a lot of energy. I want your blood to be pure oxygen, running on solar power so you never have to tie yourself down to the ground. I want you to keep moving, and keep doing, and keep creating, because you are beautiful when you're working. I want to be the fire behind your eyes. I want my skin to become your canvas. I want you to paint on me in permanent marker. I want to be something that you immortalize so that our love isn't just yesterday or today or tomorrow, but when the skies break in and the seas break out of their chains, the remnants of us still stand there. Sorry if that's cheesy or too cliche, but I'm still just that high school love letter. Never leaving your side with my heart-dotted eyes and unrequited passion. I'm just that high school love letter, your old broken-in sweater. I'll be spelling mistakes and wash too many times comfort. My ink might run, but it'll never leave the page, I promise. As long as you promise to keep me in your back pocket, take me with you. I want to be the thing that's left over from your first life. I want to be your first and last home, the kind of home that you burn into your bones, and wherever you go, far or near, it goes with you, so you never have to be truly alone. I'm sorry if I'm selfish, but I'm a dragon, old, feeling, and greedy, and you are my treasure, my shiny jewels and gold and brass and pewter. You were the silver stars that I had to steal from the sky, but I didn't stop to whisper sorry to the moon because I was too focused on cradling you. I just wanted you down here with me. Not because you belong here necessarily, but because it was also empty, and your light filled me, and I originally thought about giving you back, but now I just can't. Because a dragon can't change what he is, and as long as no nights come trying to take my treasure and our throne, then we'll live content. You'll be my star if you let me be your sky, jet black with a few holes, but I promise I have a hopeful soul. I want you to let me. I want you to want me, to grip my hand and walk with me. I'm past the point of looking back, and you're the closest thing that I have to a looking glass. So it's all tinted with the clarity of your gaze and the color of your eyes. It will always lead me back to you. I want to carve the spaces between your words into the spaces between my pores. I want the look in your eyes burned into the curve of my skin so that the beauty you see will stick to me and create something more in between the lines of my fragile skin. Maybe we'll stay. Maybe we'll just be us. Just be you and me. All right, so I have one more and it's shorter, so you don't have to worry. If you've ever seen the YouTube videos that are like, it gets better? Yeah, maybe? Yeah, woo, okay. This is kind of a commentary on that, so, woo. I have heard it gets better more times than I can possibly swallow. It's like we act like this is the end of an era, like we just sit on our couches and suddenly it'll all change. That it all magically happens and just like that everything will be brighter. I'm tempted to take a lighter and set fire to the concept of living room couch activism. I think you all know the feeling. I'll just make a video on YouTube because what the hell else can I do? I'm sorry, but it's just not true. Have you ever felt it? Sidelong glances and a whisper that was too loud to just be a secret. You can tell when something's not quite right. School is a breeding ground for Orwellian misinformation. It can be hard to escape, come above water and realize the reality of the fact that this doesn't last forever. And real life hits you like a wave of fresh air. I guess that's why they say it gets better. But here's the kicker. You know the kid that got bullied for being gay in 9th grade? Unless we actively work to make sure he doesn't lose his job for it later, to make sure he can walk down the street without those same sidelong glances, then we're not really doing our job, are we? Because yes, please record a 3-minute video on YouTube trying to encourage that kid to fight for his own life, but what happens the next day? And the day after that? Remember that girl you met freshman year, a little on the chubby side, who was always a little bit skittish and shy? As she grew up, it seemed like she kept pulling into herself, curled up inside like a snail inside of its shell. All it takes is a touch and she retracts back into herself. So think of what your brazen words could do if you were to try to yell or sell a painful idea of, you're just not good enough. You don't know what lengths the caterpillar would go to become a butterfly too soon. She will end up suffocating herself within her own cocoon, so please, record that 3-minute video on YouTube, encouraging her not to starve off the extra flesh, but what are you going to do the day afterwards? To keep the magazines from using technology to squeeze that bottle's lace just a little bit thinner. Tell her it gets better when she's in the hospital, struggling just to breathe. Remember that kid that was too small for his shorts in gym class? Couldn't climb rope because his arms shook like desperate tree limbs when pull-ups became involved. Call him what you will, weak, pathetic, not a real man. Watch him try to prove it to you as he takes a gun or a pill bottle and forces the only aggression he's ever done by his own hand. Nobody knows that he cried at night, shaking alone in his own room, so yeah, make that 3-minute video on YouTube and tell him it all gets better. But you need to do more. You need to take his mother's hand and look into his father's eye and tell them what you're going to do to make it better, because you can. You have that power. You don't have to be a politician to extend a hand, or maybe a pen or your heart or your voice. Go out to your community and open your soul up wide. Teach acceptance and empathy, because honestly, that's all that's missing. Within this community, you don't have to be a saint to make a change. You don't have to be a military man to fight a war. So take their hands, these boys and girls, and don't just tell them that it'll get better in the distance someday. Instead, lead them, backs proud, into that tomorrow. Don't just say it gets better. Promise them you'll make it better.